Did you know that the Fallout franchise may have never existed if Electronic Arts had decided they wanted to license the Wasteland brand back out to Interplay Entertainment in 1994? Fallout came into our world with the developers wanting to continue the universe they had created, but they had to rebrand. The Fallout franchise has run through multiple generations of gamers, and Fallout 4 brought in a new band of potential Wastelanders to the series. Knowing where the series all began can help you appreciate it much more, and that's why we are here right now, to do a crash course on the history behind the production of the Fallout franchise. And don't worry, if you're already a big fan of the series, you may still learn a few things you could have missed over the years. Fallout 1's directive lead, Tim Cain, did a large portion of the game's development and truly helped shape the Fallout landscape by creating the engine which you see today in the original. The original also introduced the world to iconic gameplay mechanics such as the special system for developing your character and the Vault-Tec assisted targeting system, or VATS, for taking out your foes. For a large portion of the creative stage, Cain even worked on it alone with just his thoughts. But that seems to have worked out fairly well, with the final product releasing on September 30th, 1997, to most of the world receiving overwhelmingly positive scores of around 90%, having reviewers praising its detailed graphics, compelling plot, and intuitive gameplay for the time. With such a great reception from the first game, the team wanted to expand on the universe, but still wanted to keep it fresh. This prompted a certain Black Isle Studios to intervene and take the challenge. Black Isle upgraded the whole game's engine to allow for several improvements, including the ability to set attitudes of NPC party members, and the ability to push people who are obscuring doors and other paths, as that was one of the few complaints about the first game. The team also wanted to give a proper post-apocalyptic feel for the audience, so they implemented a pseudo-immersive economy system, where certain items spiked in prices due to the reality that they would be more useful in the circumstances that the player had been presented with. Fallout 2 released exactly 1 year after the first game, following its predecessor, receiving critical acclaim and pleasing fans alike with an average of 89%. This is where the series sorta hits a brick wall. There was no main series installment seen for years. It stagnated until mid-2004 when Bethesda Softworks bought the series from Interplay. In between 98's Fallout 2 and this time though, there were a couple of spin-off titles, both of which had some sort of focus on the Brotherhood of Steel. The first being Fallout Tactics, released on the 15th of March in 2001, and was developed by an Australian studio, FONTE, brought in yet again a similar feel to the franchise. It also kept up a good name for the series, with pretty positive scores. While this was going on, Interplay were planning and developing a few new projects: Fallout Extreme, Van Buren, and Fallout for the PlayStation 1, to name a few. However, only one made it to store shelves: Fallout Brotherhood of Steel. It differed from the older games, being only released on the PlayStation 2 and the original Xbox. It also sported a real-time combat system and a different perspective to the whole Wasteland. Brotherhood of Steel was actually the first game to put the franchise in a bad light, receiving mixed critiques, with many denouncing the dull dialogue, poorly crafted characters and character models, together with the game holding your hand too much. It was a Fallout game only in name, and to date by far the lowest rated Fallout title. As I previously mentioned, the series changed hands in 2004. Some exciting prospects came when Fallout fans found out the newest installment was being developed by Bethesda Game Studios, led by game director Todd Howard. Bethesda's Fallout 3 had a massive task on its hands, to rejuvenate the Fallout world for this new generation of gamers. Howard and his team made the decision to put the Fallout universe into a first-person view for the first time yet. This allowed for a much more immersive experience and create the atmosphere the players could truly enjoy. This definitely wasn't the only change to the franchise Bethesda Game Studios made. They utilised the newly developed Gamebryo engine, crafting a 3D open-world sandbox for the player to explore. They moved away from the typical turn-based combat system, introducing free-flowing, real-time combat to the series, along with keeping some of the staples of the franchise, including the special and skill point system and, of course, VATS mode. Fallout 3 released on the 28th of October in 2008 to all of North America, and the rest of the world received it on the 30th for Xbox 360, PlayStation 3 and of course, PC. The game was an incredible success, bringing back amazing gameplay for Fallout lovers and doing the previous main games justice. The release had critical and fan backing, receiving an average score of about 92% across all platforms respectively. Bethesda Game Studios now had two of the largest franchises in the RPG genre, and possibly gaming in general. So a break from working on Fallout was coming. With them working on the next Elder Scrolls installment, they decided to license the series out, passing the torch onto Obsidian Entertainment, who had dealt with RPGs in the past, helping with Knights of the Old Republic and Neverwinter Nights 2. The The team at Obsidian that ended up developing New Vegas actually included some of the original members of Interplay and Black Isle, some of which brought some older ideas back to the table and actually implemented them into the game. New Vegas was, overall, very similar to 3, but brought some very effective things to the table, including a hardcore mode, more factions to side with who have an impact on your career story, improved VATs, weapon mods, gambling, and more. It was a solid bet for a successful game, if the writing and mechanics were kept to the same standard most Fallout fans were accustomed to. The game launched on the 19th of October in 2010 for North America, the 21st for Australia, and the 22nd for Europe. It brought in an appropriately positive response similar to that of Fallout Tactics, getting roughly 84% on all platforms, with many outlets saying that Obsidian followed the formula to a T whilst putting their own spin on things. However, the game may have even matched or surpassed previous installments if the team weren't rushed and allowed some more leeway. After an amazing show of performance by Obsidian Entertainment, and the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim entering post-production, Bethesda Game Studios were ready to start the next Fallout project. Fallout 4, which I'm assuming most of you already encountered in large doses, added a colourful cast of new companions, refreshing new looks of some iconic and new weapons and clothing, and of course I cannot forget the new Marmite mode. Sorry, I mean the workshop mode. Same response as Marmite though. You either love it or you hate it. No middle ground here. Fallout 4 also brought some record-breaking statistics to the table. It was the fastest selling and highest grossing game Bethesda have ever developed by a lump sum. The game sold over 12 million copies within the first 24 hours of its launch, generating a massive $750 million US. Many people were talking about it on and after its release of the 10th of November 2015, with a strong positive reception. It's critically averaged out at 86% across all platforms. There were, however, a few bumps from more of the hardcore fans, but let's not jump into that right now. The series has certainly seen its fair share of brilliant ideas over the years, and for the most part executed them very well. As this year's E3 closing Fallout 4 Season Pass with the third and final expansion, Nuka World, we can expect more to come from this outstanding franchise in the future, hopefully in the right direction. Although I'm pretty sure we'll see Elder Scrolls 6 before the next Fallout title arises. That was the history of the Fallout franchise from its origins in 1994 to 2016. I'm pretty sure you'll agree with me here, but I do hope the series lives on for many more years to come. I also hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you want to see more of this format, you should definitely drop this video a like and share it with your friends. And you could also subscribe so you get notified whenever we do more of this. Or you can hit us up on the social medias, Facebook or Twitter, of course, are the main ones, and you can even, follow me. That'd be pretty cool of you. But if you want to do more than that, you can support us on Patreon. Every little helps, and you get exclusive access to the videos early. I hope you guys have enjoyed, and I will see you guys on another video.